Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
It's a question that we've heard several times recently, and that is what's happening at Centromed. Well, KSAT viewers have called the newsroom asking about Centromed's recent computer system issues. And we asked the night team's John Paul Barajas to look into their concerns.
That's right. Centromed has acknowledged it is having some network issues. Its website has a red banner here at the top that says all their locations will be open during regular business hours today. But it also has a link to this message down here that is a network issues update. And it reads, Centromed is currently operating with restricted access to our information network. And one patient we spoke to says it's already causing problems and lots of concerns.
I got a text at 8:30 at night, that was on a Thursday night, that it was canceled and that they would reschedule my appointment. But I was in pain from my hand.
This Centromed patient asked to stay anonymous. The appointment cancellation text she received May 2nd refers to network system issues. But she was able to be seen on May 6th when she says the clinic was only accepting walk-ins.
The computers were still down. Everything was done by paper. I was able to see the doctor and they were going to give me a referral for an orthopedic, and that never happened.
Centromed's website currently asks all patients to keep their scheduled appointments, but the patient we spoke to says she couldn't schedule a new one.
Even till today when I called, I have to go back in as a walk-in.
I emailed the Centromed spokeswoman at 1 o'clock. By 2:09, I received a response that says, quote, I will forward your email to the appropriate contacts and have them get in touch with you. But we didn't hear back, so I called and left a voicemail at 4:45. Just trying to figure out what exactly is going on, if everything's okay over there. If there's something you could say to Centromed right now, what would that be?
You need to inform your patients what's going on, because it's vital to their health and it's vital to their personal information.
At this hour, we are still waiting to hear back from Centromed. We want to know what led to the issues with its information network and if there is any reason for patients to be worried. And Stefania, a lot of the viewers that have called in had concerns about personal information getting leaked out. And a lot of those concerns are coming up because last June, Centromed addressed a data breach in their system. But again, we are still waiting and working to get answers on what exactly is going on this go around.
All right. Thank you so much for looking into that. And as you just said, it's something that we're going to keep looking into and get you answers. Thank you, JP. Well, now to a Nightbeat update. Last night, we showed you that. Another story from JP. It was raw sewage in an apartment complex parking lot. Pretty gross. Today, the city of San Antonio confirmed that it has issued the Brynwood Apartments a violation.
That's and piss and toilet paper coming up through the streets, mixing with the water. The dogs are walking in it. The cats are walking in it.
So renters we spoke to on and off camera at the complex on the northwest side say that they've been dealing with the issues for at least 2 to 3 months. Others told us that it's really been a problem on and off for years. A crew from the city's Development Services Department visited that complex yesterday. Now, today, a spokesperson emailed us a statement that says in part, quote, the code officer issued notices of violation to the property manager. We will be out there to reinspect in 10 days. 10 days, they said. And if the issue is not corrected, the officer can issue a citation. The citation is basically a court hearing where a judge will determine fines, if any, apply, end quote. A manager told our John Paul Barajas yesterday that they were waiting for a part and hoped to have that fixed by today. But they also asked him to call their upper management about that issue. And at this hour, even at 10:03, we haven't heard back. But of course, we're going to continue to follow this story as well. Scary scene playing out in a north side neighborhood. A small airplane failed to come to a stop on a private runway and instead wound up right there on a street that was behind homes on Heimer Road near Brook Hollow and 281. 2 men were aboard that plane at the time. Neither was hurt. And tonight, there's no indication that the plane's engine failed. The National Transportation Safety Board is also looking into this. A woman accused of retaliating against a deadly dog attack now back in jail on an injury to a child charge. 28-year-old Destiny Cardona was out on bond when police arrested her for this new charge last week. This investigation began after police were called to a hospital when a staff member raised concerns about abuse and neglect of a child that was under her care. That juvenile was in surgery for a broken bone and had bruises all over their body, as well as possible burns on their back, arms, and legs. And that child is now with Child Protective Services. Meanwhile, Cardona's bond has been set at $75,000. San Antonio police still trying to sort out the details regarding 5 children who they say were just left to fend for themselves. Police say that a neighbor called them to an apartment near Eisenhower Road and Raybon Drive Sunday afternoon. He told officers the children were filthy and that all their food was being kept locked in a room. Police later arrested that man, their uncle, 52-year-old Shad Modaset, who they say they found in the home asleep and unaware.
He's watched my kids before, and I never had any issues like this. So that's why I felt it was comfortable to trust him.
Now, the mother of some of the children says that she had only been gone a few hours when those children were found, but a police report says that it appeared the children hadn't bathed or eaten in days. Terrence Harper serving a 99-year prison sentence for beating his 4-month-old son back in 2019. And you fast forward to today, he's now facing a new charge, and that is capital murder of a child under 10. Harper's case led police to reopen a child death case from 2012 when a child died while allegedly in Harper's care. Now both cases are on hold until after his attorneys filed an appeal to Harper's injury to a child trial. Now, if prosecutors win the appeal, then the capital murder case is going to continue, and the next scheduled status hearing is set for July. In other news now, tonight, a third person has pleaded guilty into the federal investigation into Henry Cuellar and his wife's bribery case. Irada Akundova pleaded guilty to unlawfully acting as the agent of the Azerbaijani government and a state-run oil company. And she admits to facilitating a $60,000 payment to Imelda Cuellar, the congressman's wife. Cuellar was accused of accepting nearly $600,000 in bribes from Azerbaijan and a Mexican bank. He and his wife were indicted last month. District 10 Councilman Mark White is going to have to wait a little longer before he learns his fate in his DWI case. We've told you about this. You may remember that police arrested White back on December 29th for DWI after pulling him over on Loop 410 not far from Broadway and Nacogdoches. This is body camera video that you're looking at from that incident from that night. A prosecutor with the Public Integrity and Cybercrime Unit told KSAT they're still gathering information. They're reviewing the case and have not yet officially charged White. So today's hearing was reset to June 20th. The FAA needs air traffic controllers. You've certainly heard this. In fact, they need about 3,000 more of them within the next few months. But right now, the FAA is trying to get at least 1,800 of them hired by September. New legislation could make that happen. Senate lawmakers passed a bill to reauthorize the FAA last week. Now, it would also require the FAA to hire up to 3,000 new air traffic controllers and add 5 long-haul flights from Washington, D.C.'s Reagan National Airport. That is a nonstop destination that several Texas lawmakers really want to see in San Antonio. So that bill was brought to the House floor today for debate, but it still needs House approval before it can go to President Biden's desk. A month and a half after crashing into a bridge in Baltimore and killing 6 construction workers, the National Transportation Safety Board is releasing new details about just what led up to that catastrophe. That 24-page report says that the cargo ship had 2 electrical failures, immobilizing the ship just moments before that crash. Despite that finding, the NTSB is holding off on declaring a probable cause until they release their final report, which, by the way, could take years to finish. Remember, that bridge was vital to thousands of commuters and residents before being destroyed. And the city of Baltimore says it's going to take $1 billion to replace that. The lone remaining wrongful death lawsuit filed after 10 people were killed at the Astro World Music Festival is going to head to civil court in Houston. That's this September. If you remember, those 10 people died after being crushed right in the middle of a concert for popular rapper Travis Scott back in November of 2021. The remaining lawsuit was filed by the family of 9-year-old Ezra Blount. A state district judge in Houston decided earlier today that jury selection for that trial is going to start September 10th. This news also comes about a week after 9 other Astroworld wrongful death lawsuits were settled. Happening tomorrow if you are near Loop 10 and Moorsun Avenue from 10 a.m. to 1. Know this, the San Antonio Police Bomb Unit is training with live explosives. So if you hear any loud explosions, don't worry. It's just the bomb squad doing their jobs. They're training for real life situations. Just letting you know about that so you're not alarmed. Also, switching gears here to homeowners in Bexar County, you have just one more to let the Bexar County appraisers know if you want to appeal your appraised tax value of your home, that is. The first step is to file a notice of appeal. You can mail it. You can drop it off in the box outside of the Bexar County Appraisal District on North Frio, or you can file an appeal online. For all the steps on how to protest your property appraisal, you can find the article on our website, KSAT.com, or scan the QR code that you see right there on your screen. It's a question people have been asking, and that's whether TikTok is going to be banned in the United States. Been a question for a while now. Well, tonight, a group of creators, including a popular one from Texas, are fighting back. We'll explain. Also, a handful of Bexar County Sheriff's deputies getting an awesome honor today. Stick around. You'll see what it's about next on the Night Beat. You know, there are so many traffic issues that we've been telling you about this week. Here's another one. As of today, the upper level of westbound I-10 near downtown, that's going to be reduced to 1 lane. The lane closure stretches from West Poplar Street to Fulton Avenue. TxDOT says that closure is going to remain in place until the end of next month. So you've been warned. So there have been lots of talk lately about TikTok and a potential U.S. ban. That could happen under a federal new law unless TikTok's China-based parent company sells its U.S. platform within a year. But a newly filed lawsuit says that that law would violate users' First Amendment rights to free speech. Okay, that's their argument. Now, the 8 content creators now suing the U.S. government are from really across the country, including right here in Texas. Brian Fireball is a rancher from Hubbard, which is just northeast of Waco. And he goes by Cattle Guy on TikTok, where he has more than 430,000 followers. Now, Fireball says that TikTok has directly contributed to his well-being. In an interview, Fireball said that, quote, 100% of our customers come from TikTok. He goes on to say the following: for that to go away, you're now stealing money out of my family's mouths, end quote. Now, right now, it's not clear how the legal battle is going to end, but it is a challenge that will likely end up in the Supreme Court. Stay tuned for that. Now, we want to say congratulations to the 9 Bexar County Sheriff deputies who were recognized today at an awards ceremony. They do great work. The awards of honor included the Medal of Honor, the Medal of Valor, the Life-Saving Award, and the Purple Heart Award. These specific honors, they're given to deputies who were put in life and death situations against dangerous suspects, got control of that situation, and saved lives in the process.
I know for a fact they replay it over and over in their head, and they second guess themselves, and they wonder why, why couldn't I have done more? And what we do is we stop and we tell them, look, you did enough. You made it home at the end of the night. Others made it through that situation alive and well because of what you did. And thank you. Here's a token of our gratitude.
Now, the incidents the deputies were involved in date back to May of 2023, and the latest incident happened in March of this year. Congratulations to them. Right now, 10:16, right now, 80 degrees. We had a beautiful day today, but I'm thinking, we still need some more of that rain.
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
A narrow window of opportunity is what we have for more rain, and that's going to be coming on Thursday, even into Friday morning. Until then, sunny and warm again tomorrow, and then sunny and hot as we get into the weekend. So it's that little window Thursday and a little bit into Friday where we could see some action. Let's take a look at our KSAT 12-hour forecast for tomorrow. A lot of sunshine, 66 in the morning. Not much of a breeze, really a beautiful start to the day. We get to the noon hour, we're up to 87, nothing but sunshine. By the afternoon, it's going to feel very similar. 92 degrees for the high, but the key is it's not going to be too humid. Just like what we had earlier today, the humidity is really going to drop off as we get into the afternoon. Okay, let's talk about the rain and storm chances. Here's the big picture. Most of the activity right now midsection of the country and eastward, and even a little bit in and around the Rockies and the Four Corners region, but not a whole lot to talk about there. What we're watching is this little swirl that's going to be our next system. It's near Los Angeles right now. It's going to head our way and give us a little boost of upper level energy. Most of it will be passing to the north of us, but I do think we'll be able to tap into enough of that and a few other factors that could get some showers and storms generated. Here's our futurecast. Friday morning, it's going to be gray and damp. Kind of another drizzly start to the day. Sprinkles, a few showers, not much to show for it at first, but once we get to the early to mid-afternoon, that's when we're expecting more scattered activity to develop and the chance for a few actual thunderstorms. Notice here, Thursday, 2 p.m. A few widely separated storms are possible. And of course, this time of year, just about no matter what, we can't rule out the chance of a strong to severe storm. Enough instability in the atmosphere, enough shear. In turn, we are in that scattered category, a 2 out of 5, in terms of the threat for severe storms on Thursday. And that's mainly in the early to mid-afternoon. Now, a little bit of activity could make its way in Friday morning. I don't anticipate much, but we could have a few showers and storms pop up Friday morning as remnants of North Texas activity. That's at 30% and highly questionable. I do want to point out tomorrow that 10% chance, that's mainly along the Rio Grande. We could have a few storms along the Rio Grande. Now, speaking of recent rainfall and our drought conditions and how we need more rain, you look at the drought monitor and we're going to focus just on the severe and exceptional drought right here. We go back to recent rainfall, and within the outlined area, some good accumulations from Uvalde to La Pryor, eastward, Pearsall up to Hondo, basically along and just south of Highway 90. So the new drought monitor will be in on Thursday, and we'll get you that update as it comes in. 94, that was our high temperature today. We'll be pretty similar into tomorrow. We talked about 92 in San Antonio, 98 Carrizo Springs, Kerrville 89, 93 in Von Army. Looking ahead then, that little narrow window Thursday and even into early Friday for rain, the narrow window of opportunity for rain. And then this weekend, we're talking a lot of sunshine. 97, the high temperature. And as we look at live cam, I do want to point out that there is the potential that we could see our first triple-digit day this weekend or into early next week. I don't think we will, but it's that off chance possibility that exists. Yes.
Keep it on the back of our minds.
Yeah,
all right. Well, you know, it's opening night of the WNBA. We're not just watching for Caitlin Clark, also Nalissa Smith.
Nalissa Smith, East Central High School alum, they both had big performances as the Fever opened up their season against the Connecticut Sun. We'll show you the highlights. We're also talking Cowboys, NBA playoffs, state softball and state baseball, and more, all coming up right after the break. It's opening night of the WNBA. East Central alum Nalissa Smith suiting up for the Indiana Fever for her third season, and Fever #1 overall pick Caitlin Clark making her professional debut. Clark took some time to get cooking, but with 5.5 minutes left in the first half, Clark with the steal. She thinks about the pull-up three, but instead earns her first WNBA points in the paint. Indiana struggling to take command of the game. Here's Smith with the kiss off the glass. And the final from this one, Indiana drops their season opener 92-71 to the Connecticut Sun. Smith finished with 13 points, 9 rebounds, 2 blocks. Clark led the way for the Fever with 20 points, but had 10 turnovers. All right, let's check in with tonight's NBA playoff action. The Knicks fall to the Pacers in Game 5 of the second round in the Eastern Conference, 121-91. A big win for the Knicks and a huge commanding series lead, 3-2. Game 6 is on Friday. That time is still to be announced. And a score update between the Nuggets and T-Wolves in Game 5 of the Western Conference second round. They're tied at 31 in a close second quarter. All right, it all came down to this in the TAP 6A Division I softball championship. Antonian posted 10 runs, but it wasn't enough to overcome St. Agnes Academy, who the Apaches swept during the regular season. Antonian falls 14-10 and finishes as the state runner-up for the third time in 4 seasons. And in the TAP 6A D1 baseball semifinal, Central Catholic advances to the championship with a 3-2 victory over St. Pius. The Buttons scored all 3 of their runs in the bottom of the second, and those early runs held up. Central Catholic will play for the state title tomorrow and potentially get a rematch against Prestonwood Academy, who the Buttons lost to in the final 2 years ago, but right now Prestonwood trails Concordia. Cowboys special teams coordinator John Fazel was instrumental in researching and designing the NFL's new kickoff rule that was approved back in March on a 1-year trial basis. The kicker will set up at his own 35 still, but there are a few new formations for the kicking team and blockers who now won't be able to move until the ball hits the landing zone, which is between the receiving team's goal line and their 20-yard line. If the ball hits the landing zone, it must be returned. No fair catches. If the ball doesn't land in that zone, there are 3 different types of touchbacks. These rules completely change what skills are valuable in a kickoff specialist.
For the kicker last year, you can see, power and distance being the driving force. But right now, power and distance doesn't mean anything. So it's swung now to accuracy, and there's a distance control because you got to get it between the goal line and 20. But you really got to be really accurate with your left and right directionals, I think. Plus the unique ball. I think there's a place for knuckleballs or squirrely balls that we're going to have to catch, and other teams are probably going to have to do the same.
All right, can't wait to see how teams try to gain more advantage. Coming up after the break, we have more sports, so stay with us. All right, day 1 of the NBA Combine is a wrap, and the Spurs are locked in as they hold 2 top 10 picks entering this summer's draft. There's not an undisputed first overall pick like there was last year with Victor Wembanyama, but fellow French big Alex Sarr is a widely projected top pick. Sarr doesn't compare himself to Wemby, but agrees France has elite talent.
For so much NBA games, I see what they do, but I don't really compare myself to anyone in the league. I think everybody plays a different type of role. There's a lot of talent in France, and just seeing all these young guys getting into the NBA, just like me, just like the teammates gonna do. He shows the place of basketball is in France, and I think our national team will be really good.
I still feel that I can win golf tournaments. I still feel I can hit the shots, and still feel like I have my hands around the greens and I can putt. I just need to do it for all 4 days, not like I did at Augusta for only 2.
Tiger Woods hopes to recapture magic at Valhalla Country Club in a quest to win his 5th overall PGA Championship beginning this Thursday. It's been 5 years since Woods has won any major at all. Scotty Scheffler is the favorite to win this year's PGA Championship. Defending champion Brooks Koepka has the 3rd best odds behind Rory McIlroy to win.
All right,
can't wait.
We'll be watching.
Yes.
All right, thank you. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The results are in, and we just want to say thank you. Thank you for helping us. Our KSAT community partners collected a little over $1,000 in donations during tonight's SJRC phone bank. It's all about adoption. There were also lots of viewers who were eager to learn how to volunteer and help out foster kids. Coming up on July 11th, there's going to be a foster adoption informational meeting. You can learn more about it on sjrctexas.org.
Check out this temperature trend. Still low 90s tomorrow. Then, mid to upper 80s Thursday, Friday. Then get ready for 90s for a stretch.
Let's just enjoy this mild weather while we can. Have a great night. See you tomorrow.